Hey, good afternoon, Manchester, New Hampshire, and all the surrounding areas. I am so delighted that we had a strong Republican that's going to be running for Congress soon,
Possible.
and the Honorable John Burt, who was a fighter for the New Hampshire citizens.
Yes, I am. Thank you for having me on, Mary. It's always a pleasure. Yes.
And one of the first things I work at, John, when do you sleep?
I'm going to try to get some tonight.
Because this must keep you going over and over.
Oh, yes. And I do have a part-time job, and I do have a small business that I run. So I am very busy. Time is flying by a little faster than I'm hoping. I'm knocking on the 60-year-old door. And, another year I'll be 60, and I'm going, ooh, that's...
Do I remember that age?
Me too. That's when I started getting
Yeah.
over. No, actually when I was 50. I'm 73, and I enjoy life more now.
Yes, you are absolutely right. The older I get, people say, well, when you hit 50, was it bad? And I said, no, because what 50 did to me is it allowed me to yell at kids that weren't mine.
Yeah.
Yes.
I can kick him in the head.
Well, you see a little monster in the store, you can go, hey, straighten out. And people kind of look at you like, okay, the old guy's yelling at my kid, but he's an old guy, so
I
I'll
won't
leave.
say anything.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm never mean, but down to Sam's Club one time when it used to be in Manchester, this little boy was right on the floor just kicking and screaming, and I went up and I looked down at him, and so I yelled to my wife, I said, honey, come here, look at this kid stroking right out right here in the store. He got up and ran right to his mother. And he calmed down after that. He didn't misbehave anymore. And I heard the mother one time, like a couple aisles over, she goes, oh, no, don't be misbehaving. I'll go get that gentleman. I mean, you must remember back in the days when you misbehaved, you'd get whacked in the head.
Oh, when my son acted up, we walked him out of the store.
That's right.
And I can remember my nephew
Yeah.
went in with his father and mother in the grocery store. And he says, Daddy, I want this. No, we have it at home. Daddy, I want that.
Yeah.
Well, then my own father taught him. He said, well, Daddy, give me some BS. And to take it, I won't say the word.
Yes.
And next thing I know, my nephew being trucked right out of that store. You know what my pet peeve is? These adults and these children are walking around the store, opening the potato chip bag and eating them while they're shopping.
Oh, I know.
You know they're not going to pay for it.
Yeah,
right?
And we're going to pay for it.
Right.
How many people go with the grapes on, just eat them,
Yeah.
and then take the bag, put them to one side?
Yeah.
I've seen
And then
that so
I
many
saw that
times.
one day and I said, you're cheating somebody out of some grapes, and you're cheating the
And
company.
the coffee, they get the coffee. They don't pay for it. They drink it and leave it on the shelf somewhere.
Yeah.
Well, no, market basket, you have to pay for it or you don't get it.
But the other places you
Oh,
don't
yeah,
have to.
Yeah.
And people, then they wonder why, John, that prices are going up.
Yes, because somebody's got to pay for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, what's the big scandal about? I only caught a glimpse of it on what's that radio station in the morning? WGIR.
Oh, yeah, WGI.
Yeah, with Jack Heath.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was talking just as I was going to the State House this morning. I only caught the end of it about parents paying millions for their kid to get a better college.
Oh, yeah.
What was that all
Active
about?
actresses.
Did that break
Yeah.
today?
Yeah.
See,
It's
I
in
haven't
the
seen
union.
it.
Get the union.
Yeah,
Oh,
it was
it's in the
on
Union
just
Leader?
last night, too. All
Was
over.
it?
Really?
Yeah.
It goes,
Yeah.
and they're from California, so what do you expect?
Well, this Alicia Preston was on, and she made a good point. She goes, all right, so you pay for your kid to go through Harvard or wherever, and the kid is still, I don't want to say dumb, but he's not educated to Harvard standards.
Right.
So now he goes in the real world, and this is what she made a point, and I'm going, boy, Alicia, you are absolutely right, 100%. And now she goes into the real world without an education, but has the diploma. How is the kid ever going to function and then failure, like they said, kids can't fail today. They hurt their feelings.
I had a friend of mine who does private tutoring,
Yeah.
and she writes term paper for Harvard students.
Really?
She gets between $500 and $2,500 per term. Depends on how many papers. Can you imagine having them go to medical school and graduating and not know what the hell they're doing? Isn't that scary?
That is
'Cause
scary.
you're
Because
putting
somebody
your
else is
life-
doing their work.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because you're putting your life in their hands.
Now, I heard it was a lot of kids.
Oh, yeah.
The news story that
There's
broke.
more coming. They're bringing out more of the stars now. They will have more
Really?
being indicted.
You know,
for it.
I said on
Oh, they're indicting people on it?
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, they should.
I can't wait. I'll be
Yeah.
home about
Yeah,
probably
they are.
8:30,
They
9
arrested
o'clock
two of
tonight.
them already.
Yeah, Pelosi.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I had said on Facebook,
Yeah.
I don't know if you ever read it or not,
Oh, yes.
that the big, powerful, rich leaders are coming down in a crash. And that it just was people like yourself who was honest. Well, unless you get a bag of lasagna. Oh, no, that's
Yes.
scary. Or maybe some bullets or whatever, you know. But the people who try to sway the things their way and they think they have to pay for what they're getting.
Yeah.
You know what? There's a lot of... And now I cannot believe they're calling milk racist.
Really?
Yep.
Will it ever end?
I asked if chocolate milk was racist, then.
Well, that's what I love chocolate milk.
Me too, when
Yeah.
that be considered.
Yeah.
Hey, I had another lady who had an operation like you.
Oh, really?
She was fantastic.
Yeah, the sleeve surgery.
Oh, yeah.
There's nothing in me, but it's called the sleeve because when they get done slicing and dicing and everything, it looks like a sleeve.
And then another friend of mine went, you can't trust the medical system. You can't. I don't care.
And it's getting worse.
Right.
It's
A friend
scaring
of mine
me.
went in to have a simple hernia operation.
Yeah.
She spent 11 weeks in the hospital.
Boy, a little slip there.
I know that point.
You know.
Yeah.
And then another thing I like to talk about education and the teachers. I think that'd be a good subject.
Yes, absolutely.
Because I have a friend of mine. I love her dearly. She's full-blooded Indian.
Yeah.
She's from the Dakota Indian, and because her daughter has a learning disability, and because she's Indian, so this woman, this teacher made fun of her and all that, grabbed her by the hair of the head, and she was going to do a flat iron on her hair and burn her neck up and down.
Where did this happen?
In here in
In New Hampshire?
Andover.
Really?
And her son, they made him urinate
Oh,
in the trash
wow.
because he had to go to the. Well, usually urinate because he would. That's and this is I know I'm not gonna. I don't think names are important to be honest with you, but I know these
Yeah.
people very well. They come to my office. I love it when people come back to my office. Okay?
Yeah.
And she is part of the great Cheyenne in her past life, with the
Yes.
Cheyenne War. And to see her, and she just won because what is wrong with New Hampshire? The Merrimack, especially Merrimack, just won a big lawsuit against it for discrimination.
Well, I think it's nationwide. That's our problem.
Yeah, but in our little state,
Yeah.
who
yeah.
would ever expect it? Would you?
I know. Well, the time I was telling you about, I went to Market Basket, and this woman kept hitting me. She tried to cut in front of me and other people, which she should have been in back. And at the end, I'll tell toward the end, she says to me, go back to my old country.
Oh,
And this is my country.
I was gonna
and
say.
you can tell it's not her country because, you know, she was dressed from her country.
native land, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I am from my own country.
yeah.
And I
Yeah.
was told to go back to my own country.
Yeah.
Well, I had another experience when I was at Market Basket. There were these 3 people from another country, and I couldn't move because they had it over there that's blocked in. So somehow they were talking. I kept saying this. Somehow the shopping cart that the middle one had just started flying down the aisle. You know, and I very calmly walked through.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, John, what's happening exciting with the Second Amendment?
Well, we had a lot going on today. We had exec session, which is the committee is the only ones that are allowed to talk. We've already had the public hearing on the extreme risk. It's called the Protection Act, they call it, but it's really the red flag law, and that's where these pearls came from.
Thank you.
They came out of that. This lobbyist, which I say she's paid, but CNN told me and New York Times told me when I was talking to them, they said that she is not being paid. But what's her first name? But her last name's Watts, whatever her first name is. Yeah, Bloomberg's paying her.
Then
She's
that-
not coming here from San Diego or wherever she's from, on her dime.
No.
Yeah.
People, and you don't realize, even in a little small state of New Hampshire, they do have lobbyists working for or
Yes.
against the people.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, and so what happened is
explain those.
the Republicans were all wearing these beads.
So you wanna
They're
get a
pearls.
picture of the
They're
beads?
pearls.
Yeah.
And what it is there's a group of women, Women's Defense League.
Yeah, I love it.
It is. And what they do, and this is in support of the Women's Defense League. We have been wearing it for years. No subject until this lobbyist shows up from out of state, and then she has about 300,000 Twitter followers. So she posts that we are wearing these to mock Moms on Demand or whatever they're called, and we weren't. We were wearing these to support the Women's Defense League, and what the Women's Defense League does, and this is what I'm telling when the New York Times and other national papers are calling me. That day, I did not have my pearls on. I always wear
you
them.
got slammed for that.
Well, oh, yes, huge. But the three reps, or all the reps, all the other Republicans did wear them. I was the only one. I always wear them. I just didn't that day. I forgot. I forgot them at home. I could have gone to got another pair, and I'm just thinking, it's not a big deal. It only shows support for the Women's Defense League. And what the Women's Defense League does, it only trains women on the proper way of using a firearm. And then those same women protect their children. So I keep telling the media, as they call me, and the hateful people that call me, only one from New Hampshire, but about 200 from out of state. They want to get involved in our politics. So they call up and I say, do you know what they do? The women protect their children. Are you against that? Well, no, but you're still a racist and you're a jerk. And it's like, well, you can have your opinion, but, I support women that want to defend their children.
And next time, how would you feel if the next time you come on, and you know that's going to be a next, if I invited a representative from the union leader to come on to ask you questions?
Oh, I'd love it. Yeah.
Would you really?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
we're going to
anytime.
hold that on to you.
Yeah.
Okay. And WJIR news reporter if they want. I know Adam Saxon from the
Yeah, he's a good guy.
WNTQ.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know Adam. His
Yeah.
his father-in-law and I used to be best friends.
Huh?
And all of a sudden he just... Now, I wish that I had all the benefits that people tell me I have. Okay?
Yeah.
Mary knows me very well. I don't get
Many years.
Section 8. I don't, what do they call it? Food, whatever they call
Oh,
it.
the EBT things?
That one it is.
Yeah.
I don't get any help from that. I pay for my own medical insurance.
Wow.
Okay? So,
And
all
that's
you
not
people
cheap.
out there, just think because I have a TV show,
Yeah.
You're right,
and-
Norm.
Huh?
You're right on that. Right on the head.
And they do that with you,
They
too.
do that
think
with
because
me.
you, because-
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. I pay
I
for
hear,
everything
oh,
myself.
the government must be treating you well.
I don't have
and all.
any help.
Finally, I just got said, you know what? Whatever you want to think.
I mean, anybody can come in and do their own show.
Sure. You know?
Yeah.
I did apply for the Howlet one time for the food thing there, whatever they call it. I make $5 too much. And I also want to compliment, I had some friends that live on the third floor of my building. They just moved out.
Yeah.
But 5 years ago, they came in legally,
Yep.
They weren't for fun. And then the Lutheran Church, I would be so embarrassed to say I was a member of the Lutheran Church.
Yeah, I
The
don't
way
know
they
them.
the way they treated those people, Mary, I would have been very embarrassed. And I said to the nun there, "How are you doing?" I said, "Oh, God tells you not to speak to other people." Boy, she didn't like that too well. The junk that they give for furniture to move in was disgusting.
Yeah.
I wouldn't give it to homeless people. I don't give them anything,
Yeah.
But they worked hard. This is what America is all about, right? They all became American citizens.
Wow. That's what it's supposed to be.
And the government helped them buy a house. But they work hard.
Yeah.
They're proud. And I cried when they left, okay? Because the father and I were good friends. Even if he did steal my gas tank for another girl.
Yeah.
But to see them go broke my heart.
Wow. Yeah.
But I was also happy for them. So, folks, I guess the story to this, John, is that come to America, but come legally.
That's right. That's all I want.
All the benefits
Yeah.
you can get.
Yeah, yeah. Tell
These
me.
guys had 8 months to get their job situated.
Wow.
Then they did not get help for, they had to work for everything they got. Both the man and the woman all worked
Yeah.
together.
That's the way it should be.
And that's
Yep.
the way it should be.
Yeah.
They got nothing. And you know what? I don't blame just the people around the country. I blame the people who are Americans, who are white, who are lazy, and blacks as well. And when they take advantage of you and I
Yes.
by living in Section 8, I had a lady come up and bought a brand new car.
Yeah, that's the
They
problem.
went and got her hair done.
Yeah.
And the nails. I said, oh, what is your husband? Oh, I'm not married. My boyfriend lives with me. I live over here in the project. I said, oh, so you're a welfare special.
Well, I bet you she liked that.
Oh, she didn't like that at all.
And
But
you know,
I don't have a problem when they need it.
well, exactly. That's what I was going to say. There are the truly needy, and I want to help them.
Right.
But they're probably only 20%, 25% of what we're helping.
Well, a lady I know has children, so she gets Social Security and
Yeah.
disability on every one of them.
That's I
Yeah.
Bet you know the
Yeah.
same one. You know, and then
You're
what
right.
I also don't like, say like they're getting state aid for their children.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't have a problem, but when they send it to their homeland, that's when I have a problem.
Huh. I did not know they were doing that.
Oh yeah,
yeah, yeah.
a friend of mine.
Really?
Remember when Vicious Foods
Yes.
used to be on Lincoln Street?
Yeah.
She used to work there, and she would Coffee Shop. She used to work there, and she would tell me Indian days how many send, money to their homeland from.
Yeah.
Wow.
They-
I'm sorry, that's supposed to go to the children,
Yeah.
and it's your dollars and mine. If somebody wants to disagree with me, call me names or whatever, and give us
Yeah.
a call at 640-3091. John and I are ready.
Yes.
We, John?
We
So,
are.
John, so what's exciting happening now? And I've done all that.
Well, this bill that we heard about with the pearls,
Yeah.
that's called the red flag bill. We retained it in committee, which is a huge plus. They know there's problems with this bill. Some states sadly have it, and people are ending up dead over this bill. Oh yes, down in Maryland, the police, a sister lied about her brother. They were both about 60, 61 years old. The sister's been mad at the brother for years. And what red flag does is if you have a family member, you can call the authorities, the police, and say, you know what, I'm very concerned about him. He may or she may commit suicide, so I want to file one of these protection acts or whatever they're called, the red flag bill. And what happens is then the police will show up at your house like they did in Maryland. The 60-year-old brother said, there's nothing wrong. I've had trouble with my sister for years, and as they were getting the guns, a little argument ensued. The police pulled the gun because the other guy had a gun in his hand. Well, he was handing his guns over. The policeman shot him and killed him.
Yeah.
And that is what's going to happen in New Hampshire if this passes. But so we've retained it. So what that means is it's not dead yet. So it's going to stay in committee until next January, February, about March. It has to end up going to the House floor. That's what I like about New Hampshire. Every bill has to be heard on the House floor. So we have a chance to fight it. So when that bill goes to the House floor, hopefully it's going to be ITL, which is inexpedient to legislate, and the bill will die.
My only concern is which way is John Sununu going to fly? Is he going to fly with the Democrats or is he going to fly with the Republicans?
Well, what I like about retaining this bill now is it's on election year next year.
That's right. It
Yes,
is.
and Democrats do not like bringing anti-gun bills out on an election year because
See, I don't mind it. I don't care. People say, "Oh, yeah." No, I don't. I would love to have a gun myself.
Yeah.
I can't afford one.
yes,
I'll get you one with a purple and pink handle.
I love it.
yes,
I
It'll
love
go
it.
with your eyes.
I used to, thank you. I used to have one years ago.
yeah.
I had a gun. I had two different guns.
Well, and that's what I tell everybody. If you don't want one, don't have one. But if you want one and you can afford it, buy it and protect yourself. But if not, just call the police and if you
Well,
don't.
when I get one, I'll give you a call. You can come and show me how to shoot it.
Yes, I will.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because my son will teach me too, because he's also a gun trainer.
Yeah. Oh yeah, train. And I can't stress enough. Get training. Continue to get
I'm
training.
a firm believer in this. There should be a class on how to properly shoot a gun.
It should be a voluntary class.
Right.
But yes, we used to learn them in school.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, I learned
They
gun
wouldn't
safety
let
in
me.
school. Yeah.
in
No.
the school I went to
Oh, why not?
because I shot a shotgun one time. I almost shot a guy's head off.
Oh, well, yeah, that's not good.
See, that should have been training for that.
Yes. Yeah.
No, actually, back then I wasn't ready to. I wanted to do home ec instead of shooting guns.
Yeah.
And,
Well, I did that too.
They wouldn't let us have home ec when I went to school.
Oh,
To
well,
show
I
you
was
how old
one
I
of the first boys. I went to school. I graduated in '78, so it would have been '74 or '5, somewhere's in there. I was in ninth grade. I took typing, and all the boys picked on me. I was the only boy in this school class with Miss Cotter. And Miss Cotter was, oh my God, pretty lady.
That's why you took it.
That was the only reason. I was 15 years old. I was a 15-year-old boy. And so I took this class while all the boys were picking on me. And I said, hey, dummies, all the girls in the class? Miss Cotter? Well, then later, Miss Cotter, the second semester, she says, well, thank you, class. You know, it was nice having all you kids in here. And she praised us for the good work we did and everything. And she goes, and John, it was a pleasure having a boy in this class. And you know what? It's surprising. There's 3 boys signed up for next semester. So the boys caught on quick.
Somehow our typewriter fell out the window.
Oh, it did.
Yeah,
That's not good.
no. I had to make sure I was absent that day
Yes.
because I knew what was going to happen.
Yeah.
Of course, I kind of instigated it. I like typing, though.
Oh, yeah, I learned
I was one of the few.
on the manual, and then we had half manual and half IBM.
Right.
And halfway through the semester, a couple months, I remember the Miss Cotter going up to Lori Lee, her name was, and she goes, Lori Lee, John's doing very good. And all the other girls were like at 60 words a minute. He's up to about 32 words a minute. He is doing really good. And it was so funny. Would it be all right if you stayed on the manual and John stayed on electric? Because the manual's a lot slower. And she wanted me to stay on the electric because it was a lot faster. So,
We had a Royal.
Oh, did you? No, we had IBMs.
Yeah, we had Royal.
Yeah.
And I think I hated woodworking.
Really?
Back in them days, you had to do it.
Oh, really? See, I took woodworking.
I could do
I took
blueprinting.
home ec. Again, I was the only boy in home ec, but I'm so glad I did. I think every kid takes it now.
I think it should be required.
Oh, I mean, it taught me how to put buttons on
yeah.
this. I mean, now I don't like sewing, but and I always barter with my wife.
Right.
I say, honey, I'll shovel the next 3 snowstorms, and you'll sit right in here if you want to sew that button on me on my shirt that's broke.
There you go.
And and good, it's a good horse trading.
Right. I love ironing.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. I love ironing.
Yeah. Oh, do you?
Oh yeah, when I
See, I'm not good at
when Mary
that.
knew me in my younger days, right? Mary, everything was complete. I got to get a new iron now, but when I'm ironing, it relaxes me.
Now I
Yeah, I
heard
hate
back in
ironing.
the day you would iron your sheets. And
Oh yeah,
Really?
Everything.
even your underwear.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My first month, I used to iron my underwear.
Why did
Yeah.
they do that? Because nobody irons today.
Starch. They put plenty of starch on it.
Oh God,
my-
my mother used to put starch in my shirts. And,
Yeah.
Oh, and I used to do this one. Then finally, I started sending them out when I got into working and nursing.
Yeah.
They would put so much starch in the white shirts; it would be so uncomfortable. And I'd say, well, not quite so much starch.
Yeah.
So I just kept it alongside the aisle. I find that ironing actually is very relaxing.
Oh.
I won't iron again when I'm stoned because I burned up a shirt.
Yeah.
That wasn't
Yeah,
a good
no.
thing. That was an expensive one too. But anyway, how on education? What are we doing with education?
Sadly, not good this year. What they're trying to do is repeal, which I know Governor Sununu will veto this, the tax credits for children to go wherever they want. See, right now, we give them, I think it's, a couple $1,000s of your tax money that would go to the public school, and it goes to this child. So if the child wants to go to a private school or even a religious school,
Yeah.
the way it's written, it has held, the Supreme Court has ruled that it's not unconstitutional to do this.
And how do you feel about that?
Oh, I think, the money should follow the child. Because not every kid like John Burt back when I was in school.
Me.
Yes, they just sometimes they don't fit well in school settings. But if you put them in a technical school or a trade school, they do 10 times better. And then they aren't wards of the state when they turn 18. They've learned a trade.
Yeah, and that's the thing that I like is the fact that I wish I had it when I was a kid, because I probably would have gone to a technical school.
Yeah.
Because I should have been in special classes, as they call them today.
Yeah.
I'm considered feeble-minded, you name it, I get all kinds of names on it. But you know what? I taught myself, just like you did.
Yeah.
We taught, and like Mary, we teach
Yeah, I did.
ourselves. You can stay there and say, oh, I'm not very smart, so I can't do this. I'm going to be a dishwasher all my life, but it's up to you.
It is up to you.
And you know what? Dishwashing's an honorable living. A friend of mine once at the Radisson Hotel. I use a different name now. He makes $15 an hour as a dishwasher.
Wow.
Maybe I should go down there.
Yeah.
I wear my high heels and my mini skirt.
Yes.
Hey, we still got to get together and have that blue dress day there. Remember the blue?
Yes. Yeah.
Mary, want to join us? We're going to have an all-blue parade.
Ooh, that
Everybody
sounds
has
good.
to wear blue.
Yes.
We didn't talk about that. But so, John, do you see any big changes coming that's not going to help us?
Well, I mean, the education one scares me. These anti-gun. I'm a gun guy, so these anti-gun bills. They did pass the 7-day wait-in period, is what they call it, but it's really 9 to 11 days. If you want to buy a firearm, you have to wait 7 to 11 days. And what they're saying is that it's not been proven. They say it has, but the research I've done, I don't see it. That suicides will go down. And okay, so the person doesn't use a gun, they use a knife. I mean, sadly, and you know what really bothers me too, Norm, in the bill, and just like the red flag bill, and Mary, is they say, all right, we're going to remove the guns, but they don't say anything about any help to these people. So somebody says, all right, John Burt is a little crazy, we're going to go take his guns, and he's off his rocker and everything else. But then once the police show up, forcibly take my guns, that's traumatized me. And then they just walk and close the door. And I'm sitting there all by myself going,
What the hell did I do? Yeah.
Yeah. So, then the person's just going to grab a knife if they're to that point. That's what I look at. This is really just to take guns. Right. And that's all it is. They don't care about these people, but they're using them.
I had a friend of mine that came and hid in my house.
Really?
Yeah. And he said, don't tell him I have a gun. I'm not going to lie.
Yes.
And the cop treated me like I was a criminal.
Huh.
I went out and the gun's over there. How do I know it's not yours? I said, I don't own a gun. He literally grabbed me by my belt loop, threw me into the wall, searched me, and I said, would you like me to pull my pants down too? He got upset over that, And I said, and then they took his gun. They took him and then him into the hospital. The psychiatrist, because he was, and his girlfriend was threatening, saying he was threatening to kill himself. This man had no protection. She lied about him.
Yep.
And he come over and he hit him. I said, John, I can't hide you, and I'm not going to hide you. Yeah. I'm not going to be charged with hiding a fugitive.
Yeah.
And he said, John, don't tell him I have a gun. I said, I'm not going to lie for you.
Yeah. Yeah, if somebody's unstable, I guess you have to.
Yeah, even if he wasn't, I still wouldn't.
Yeah.
If they're looking for him because he's got a gun, I'm sorry, I'm not going to cover for him.
Yeah.
That could be another reason why. You and I also think, how you hear about all these bank robberies? I mean, the convenience stores being robbed they wear the hoods and all that.
Yes.
I also believe this, and I'm not saying all of them, so folks, don't misunderstand how I'm going to say this. I believe that a lot of the store clerks having someone they know rob the store. Could be the owner of the store having talked to somebody into it, because they can get insurance money from it.
Well, I hear every now and then that it's an inside job. Oh, yeah. Yes.
There's a market, and I'm not accusing anybody. There's a local market up by where Mary and I live, and we used to love the restaurant outside of there, right?
Yeah.
And every so often you read when they're getting robbed.
Yeah.
And the stuff, and I'm not saying they're not, you know.
Yeah. No, I'm sure. I'm hoping most of them are.
Legitimate. I would like to
Yeah.
say that, too.
Robberies.
Yeah.
I mean, I wish that we didn't have robberies, but I think the owner probably doesn't know that it's coming.
So this death penalty has been repealed in New Hampshire?
Just in the House. Yeah, just the House has.
I'm not in favor of repealing it.
That and marijuana are the two hardest bills that in my 9 years, I'll be there 10 years, and at this point it's going to be my last term, but are the two hardest bills. That's what some say. Two hardest bills I've ever voted on. I support the death penalty. If you hurt one of my grandchildren, I want to see you hanging in my oak tree, and I'll even provide the rope.
Right.
But the problem, Norm, what makes me, and I voted for the repeal, and I got a lot of Republicans they yelled at me, "What the heck, John?" I don't trust the government.
Right.
And what happened is it happened once in New Hampshire and twice, just happened again in Massachusetts. The crime lab lady in Massachusetts, they estimate about 20,000 cases. She fudged the records.
Yeah, I remember reading that. Yeah.
'Cause
Yes.
they didn't have
That's
DNA
my big problem.
back then.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, no, this was
Yeah.
a month ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
This just
Really?
came out a
Yeah.
month ago.
Oh, yeah, I that's my big problem with that. Matt
Yeah.
and I debated it. Matt Connor and I debated it.
Yeah, so I mean, today we have the DNA. Is it DNA?
Forensic side,
DNA.
Yes, yeah, DNA. I mean, we have cameras everywhere. I mean, the chances of somebody 30 years ago be put on death row, they might be innocent. But today it's probably zero or next thing to it. The problem is what happens if one of those technicians fudge the record?
Right. Another problem I have too.
That
which
person's
is,
being put to death.
Yeah. The one that's been on skid row, death row for 10 years.
Yeah.
Okay. Michael Addison, isn't it?
Oh yes, Addison. Yeah, 10, a little over 10.
What I didn't like was when Kelly Ayotte used him to get into.
Yes.
And I confronted her on it. I got a lot of flack. And even in the newspapers and the TV. But when you use, and I'm sorry, but if you're going to have a death penalty, it costs us more for the death penalty than because you got to go through this. The guy's eating like a king.
Well, it's over $5 million now.
Yeah.
And I don't look at I should look at the money because I'm pretty conservative, but, I just keep going back to, and we had that one case in New Hampshire where the crime lab, the state police crime lab lady was taking the labs home, and she says, well, I wasn't doing anything. I just wanted to make sure they were safe, so I kept them with me.
That's illegal.
Well, what happens if something happened in between? These are people that are going to go to jail because of that crime lab. And she's fudging with them. And it's happened once that we know of in New Hampshire.
I'm sure it happened more
and
than
majorly twice in Massachusetts.
Yeah. See, unless they can, that's like, I don't know if you're going to give them the death penalty,
Yeah.
why is it, we don't need to take 10 years.
I agree there too. Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Like you just said, it's $5 million. Then let's give them a life
Yeah.
in a solitary confinement. But I also will tell you what I also don't believe he did it.
Oh, Addison? Well, I think he admitted, didn't he?
No, he did. He admitted he did it.
I think Addison's
Oh, no,
admitted.
no. he did
Actually,
it.
and I'll tell you what,
Or
I think
unless
he
he's
did it
taken
out
over.
he was coerced or whatever.
Huh.
Because running down the street, as he was supposed to be doing,
Yeah.
how can he take a gun and hit here?
He shot the cop first, then he ran from him.
Yeah.
But that's my own belief,
Yeah.
Isn't that's what's wonderful about America?
Oh, yeah.
We had to, they're trying to take it away from us,
Yes. Yeah.
But isn't that what's wonderful? we have a right to have our own opinion. And believe me, I'm not sticking up for it, just the way I feel.
Yeah.
And if there is conclusive evidence that he actually done it, then let's do this and get it over with. Well, was it back in 1938 is when the last time they hung somebody?
Yes, 38 or 39.
Yeah,
Yeah, was the last
yeah,
time. Yeah. Somebody.
I know that my friend Phil McLaughlin, who was the Attorney General, he's a good friend of mine.
Huh?
And actually, he helped me out of a very serious, sometime I'll tell you about it,
Yeah.
allegation. And
Oh, yes, you did tell me once. Yeah.
And he's a very, very good friend. And I can't believe that he's my age. I can't believe it. Time goes by.
It does. Yeah.
And he's probably one of the best attorney general. But he said when he almost had a guy put to death, he fought for the death until he found out the guy was actually innocent. It takes a lot of courage to admit that he made a mistake.
Yeah. Yes, it does. Well, the other thing I don't like about New Hampshire's death penalty is it's very narrowly targeted for a certain group of people. It used to be just for police, if you killed a policeman. Well, the Constitution is very clear. One group of men cannot be above another group of men. Well, if you do that, then they're above, the rest of us. And I think it was in 2012 after the Cates.
Yeah.
You remember when those 4 boys broke into the house and killed the mother, and then the daughter left her to die?
Yeah, what was the name of that town?
Mount Vernon, wasn't
Vernon.
it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
And we did pass a bill, which I did vote for, to add heinous crimes like that for the death penalty would be eligible. But other than that, I mean, if you just walk by and just shoot somebody and kill them, you aren't getting the death penalty. And I say, no, if you're going to have the death penalty, it's for whoever takes a life is eligible for it.
My firm belief is that if Mary's working in a store as a cashier, and you walk in, and you want to rob the store, and you kill her, then it should be the same consequences for you as it is a police officer.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Because why isn't a store clerk as valuable as a policeman?
Or where you are.
That's right.
And they wouldn't. 9 out of 10, they're not going to have something to defend themselves with.
Which I think they should, but
right. And I agree.
Yeah.
But I also think that you got to give me some of those beads.
Oh yes, yeah.
So I can wear them on my TV show from now on. I'm also going to get one of those hats. I like being an instigator. You could never tell, right?
Well, I know on your Facebook you are. You can spark some debates.
Oh, yeah. I love it.
Yeah.
But the one thing that I'm also looking at, John, is you're going to be with, this is not your last rodeo.
That's what they say.
You got 2 more years.
I've thought of, a couple years ago, I thought of running for U.S. Congress, and
that I do see you doing.
I raised, a fair amount of money. There's a lot of people that support me to do it. The problem is that the commitment to get there is huge. I mean, you got to devote 2 years.
When you decide you're going to vote, you got to announce it here first.
Yes, yeah.
And on your TV show. I'll bring it out on your TV show. John, tell out your TV show.
Well, I'm in my 9th year in Goffstown. I do a public access there. I don't tape. You guys are dedicated to be here every week. Do you ever take a week off?
No.
I know. I luckily mine is taped, so it's not live. Which I would like to have live sometimes, but I see the benefits of taped. We can do a lot more. Bring videos in. It's easier to, move the show around. But I've been doing it 9 years, and I can't believe it's been that long in Goffstown on Channel 16. And my first show airs every Sunday night at 8 o'clock. And I am shocked how many people watch it, because when I go to the store, they tell me, hey, I saw your show last night, and I disagree with you on this, or John, you're 100% right.
Next month I'll be 19 years.
19.
And we started in a little hole in the wall at MST.
Yeah, wasn't it down by the bridge at one time?
Yeah, then we moved down by the bridge. That was great. That was probably one of the best studios we've ever had.
Oh, so there was a place before that.
Oh,
See, I remember going on, is it Joe Kelly Lavassa?
Kelly Lavassa
Yeah,
show?
I went on his show. I think it was the Joe and Joe show. I went on that once down there.
Yeah.
And,
I love it. Glenn and I actually arranged, it hurts me to be nice. Actually, Glenn and I arranged money for the studio down there.
Oh.
We had an auction.
Yeah, we had an auction. And we also had a food drive for the people that needed it.
Yeah.
And this one person come and took everything because it was outdated and threw it all in the trash.
Oh, really?
And it doesn't. The outdated is to protect the food. And that food is not going to spoil. But then I had a second event here that we helped pay. The best money in there was like next year, the political year.
Yeah.
And they made a lot of money off the candidates.
Yeah.
But all of a sudden they don't want us. We should have sponsors like I go to somebody that like owned a store or something and they would I had my 2 friends out in New York that would sponsor me.
Yeah.
you know.
Now they can't do that here,
No,
right?
no.
Yeah, that's the same way. Like I can have business owners on my TV show, but they can't say come down to my store and
No.
buy something. They can talk about their store
Right.
and they can talk
Yeah.
about anything else.
And they can't talk about the prices.
Yeah, they can't. Yeah, yeah. So there is,
My lady that was on last week, I had to cut it out real quick. Don't tell the prices.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And that lady I had on, she was great.
Yeah.
And she lost everything, got right back up again, did the drugs and alcohol. She lost it all. And this time she's been, what 2 years now? And she's got a good business going. She just bought herself a brand new car. And all. It shows you can be down, but you don't have to stay down.
Yes. Yeah.
You've been through a lot of hardships.
Oh yeah. I mean, I grew up, poor in church mice.
That's pretty poor.
Oh, that is real poor. Yeah. And, I remember, but I never remember going hungry. I do remember, being cold in the house, because we didn't have a lot of fuel. So my mother tried to stretch that out. So we always wore sweaters and.
No regrets.
No. I think it made me tough, and I don't have.
Who you are today.
I don't have any.
Well, that's like when my dad would forget to pay the bill. We didn't have lights, kerosene lanterns.
Yeah.
We had the house was here, the well was over here. You pump the water, you
Pump,
bring
you'll
it in,
pump.
and we had the outhouse, 2-seater outhouse.
Oh, we had a 3-seater.
So you had royalty.
Yes, yeah. I was 5 when we had running water in the house.
Yeah.
But we didn't have a toilet, and they didn't put that in until I was 5 years old.
I didn't know what running water was until I went to school for the first time.
Really? Oh yeah, no, we had running water.
And then I thought I was scared at first. I thought it was going to go fall into the, But you know what? I have no regret. I didn't know I was poor. Did you?
No, because all the kids around me, I mean, we all grew up on farms, and we were just poor farmer kids.
So
Did
true.
you know you were poor?
No, until a kid told us.
Yeah. One day I wore a shirt, and the kid my foster mother got it from a rummage sale, and the kid told everybody, "Oh, look at that!" Of course, I had to beat the kid up, But you know what? And I was never popular in school, and that's okay today.
Yes, yeah.
I enjoyed being by myself. Although one kid pushed me off what they used to call the ocean wave and go around up and down like that. And then he hit me in the head with a rock. Somehow I had a rock in my hand, and somehow that rock just hit him in the head.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that happens.
And I have regrets? No, not at all.
Yeah.
You make yourself who you are.
Well, that's it. And the biggest thing that I learned is, I know my mother loved us. She had 5 kids. She's gone now, but she said I say she showed her love through the switch, a stick, and I think she loved me the most out of the 5.
Oh, she said you're right.
Yes, but what you have to do, and I just can't stress it enough to anybody, is when you turn 18 and you move out, the rest of your life is your life. But I see so many people that are 40 years old. Oh, I'm a victim. My mommy, hit me when I was a kid.
Get over it.
Yeah, move on. And I was probably 19, 20. I went down, saw my mother, and I said, "Mom, you know what? I don't condemn you. I don't blame you for anything that I thought you did. I probably deserved a third of the switch that I got. The stick, but 2/3 I felt I didn't deserve." And I forgave her, and I hugged her, and I said, "Mom, I love you, and I'm over it." And
she told me to tell you how proud she is of you.
I mean, because you can. People should just get over it.
And I agree.
To be a victim your whole life, I just can't imagine.
Only if you want to be.
That's it. Your destination that you are on.
You make your
path.
own path.
Absolutely.
If you have any stories that you want to tell about your life, give us a call, 603-640-3091. Or if you have a question you want to ask John, be respectful. If you feel you have to call him a name, make it a nice name.
Yes, a nice name, yeah.
Okay.
Well, one thing that was funny is I can't remember. I must have been maybe 8, 9 years old, but I wanted a sled for Christmas. and my mother got us one of those plastic roll sleds.
Yeah.
I don't know
Oh.
if you remember those. Well, all the other boys, they had the runner sleds. And I'm thinking, because I knew we were poor, and I'm thinking, all right, this is what I got. Well, I'll tell you, I was king of the hill, because the runner sleds in bad snow, you would sink down.
Yeah.
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 That plastic runner, plastic sled, it's like this table. It goes on any snow. The next week, all the other boys had those sleds. So I was like, "Wow,
Well,
Mom!"
we
So
were
being
lucky.
poor, it turned out that
My
They-
brother-in-law used to, my nephew and I, we were like, my nephew and I, we used to take the rope and put it onto the rear, bump into the car,
Oh yeah,
and go down the high, because it was an old road, nobody had any, and he'd blow the horn if the car was coming, so we'd go out of the
Yeah.
way. But we'd go for like 10 miles down the road.
Wow.
We had fun.
oh yeah, yeah.
When we slide down a hill, we made our own ski. Remember the old wooden barrels?
Oh yes,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you take the rubber from the cooking canning jars.
yeah.
You take them and you split them in half and you put them on the next part. You can be inventive.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. And that's the thing is when you're poor, you make things because you want to have
Yeah.
fun.
And remember the old tablecloths years ago, when we were kids? We didn't have a sled. We didn't have it anything. But my mother would take the tablecloth, that plastic. That
that's
would
pretty
go
slippery.
so good. It was
Yeah.
unreal.
Yeah.
Really?
Oh,
I didn't know.
yeah.
I missed that one.
Huh.
Oh,
We had
yeah,
a toboggan. We almost went into the
Yeah,
river
we didn't
one
have
time.
it.
Well, do you remember the old? Well, of course you do. Is the the old washing machines with the ringer on
Oh,
top?
yeah.
Oh, my God, yes.
Well, they were round. They had a round cover. Well, my brother Rod, he took one of the round, the round
Yeah.
cover, and we used it for a sled. And
I did a great sled.
it did. It was a beautiful sled until my mother got home.
My sister.
I
caught my breast-
hightailed it right up in my room. I didn't come out for. And luckily she wasn't yelling at me. But when my mother yelled, we all scattered like
I
rats.
love those old-fashioned ring-on wash machines.
Oh yes, yeah.
My sister got her breast caught in one of them.
Oh.
I thought it was funny until my father smacked me.
Uh,
You know what? Beavings go away.
yes, yeah.
Okay. My name never goes away. You still always have that,
Yeah.
but you don't have to allow it to control you.
Exactly. That's the word I wanted to use. Yeah. Whatever happened in your childhood or even anywheres, if you become a victim, I pray I never do, but if somebody broke into my house, which I pray never happens, I mean, we have it locked down and blah, 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 but, don't do it when I'm there because things aren't going to go well.
How's your chicken doing?
Oh, doing good.
Here's a Taj Mahal chicken.
He had to take some pictures and bring it in so
Yeah,
they can
they
show
said
the
we could see
people.
them.
Oh, I'll do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
People are talking to me right
Yes.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
but-
that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got a
But,
question you want to ask him?
Yes. Your chickens there. You should take pictures
yeah.
and put them on.
Yeah.
Like I do in April. People send me pictures. I got a picture of a chicken somebody sent me. What a beautiful chicken. Oh my! His name is Henry.
Really? Oh, it's
He's
a rooster.
all different colors.
Yeah.
Oh my God, he's gorgeous.
Yeah.
And I have one, Zaza the cow.
Ah,
I got a picture of the cow. And I just got one of a lamb. And I got another one. They send me pictures. So I said, I don't care what it is. On that day, I will show them
yes.
the pictures of the animals. It'll be Animal Week, when they
Yeah.
come up. And I'll have it that week. I'd love to have one of your, so I can bring it up on the same day.
Yeah, I would love to show it because I have a lot of families around the neighborhood that will come and I tell them, be careful walking on the property, but bring your kids and look at the chickens all the time, and they do. They'll go down. I just lifted my coop up, and when I built my coop, and everybody calls it the Taj Mahal of chicken coops. When I built it too close to the fence. So it doesn't allow me to get behind. I mean, I can go behind it, but it's too tight and stuff. So I've always wanted to put granite foundation on my coop. So I found some of this granite curbing, real cheap because I don't want to spend a lot of money on my chickens. So I lifted the coop up and moved it, and it's heavy. I used wooden dowels like they built the Egyptian,
Yeah.
the pyramids.
Yeah.
I just used wooden dowels on boards and stuff, and I moved the coop over 4 feet and dropped it on a granite foundation, so it really
I
looks
bet
cool
it's
now.
pretty.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a lot of people, and it has automatic lights, automatic doors. The doors go up
Wow.
and down automatically as I set my timers.
I love chickens.
Well, it's my hobby, and a lot of people say, "How much money do you spend?" I said, "Well, $500-600 a year, maybe 700 tops." But I know a lot of women that spend thousands on their flower beds,
Oh yes.
and
I
flowers.
spend a lot on my cats.
Yes, yeah, cats are hobbies, and they become, you have to have some hobby.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and I'm really cheap. I wait. I'm not in a hurry, so I buy the stuff where I can find it cheap, like the granite. I was looking for granite for years.
Yeah, it's cute. I love it. Because Mom's always saying that. I would love to see a picture of it.
Yeah.
That would really. I'm looking at your buttons. I see you have
Oh.
a gun
Yeah.
and everything. Can you tell us what they stand for, all three?
Yes. This is the scales of justice because I'm on the criminal justice committee. So a good friend of mine that's on the committee, he got us these pins. He's an attorney down in Salem, and he was gracious enough to give me one. So that's that. The second one is the gun. The middle one, it's because I'm a huge gun supporter of
Yeah.
the Second Amendment. As I tell everybody, I'm a terrible gun owner. Guns to me are tools. They're for self-defense. They're for hunting. Whatever you want to do. I don't hunt.
No, me neither.
But I understand why we have hunting, and
Yeah.
we have to have it. The deer would overpopulate and they would starve to death. Well, this is a more humane way to control the deer herd, and it feeds people. But I don't do it, but I don't condemn it either. And the top one is a hot dog. And for 7 years at the New Hampshire State House, it's nonpartisan, and I invite everybody from the State House, the Secretary of State's office, and the LOB, the Legislative Office building behind, and about 700 people a year show up, and I give 1,200 hot dogs away. And it's
Wow.
called Representative Burt's Hot Dog Day, and it has a campfire out on the front lawn because what I tried to do once was, well, I've tried twice, is to repeal the campfire permit. So right now on your private property, if you want a small 12, 14-inch campfire, you have to call the government, the fire department, and get permission.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I'm not for that.
Yeah.
The
Oh.
fire department says when the hearing happened, I was on the municipal and county government committee my first term when this bill came forward, and they said they estimate 70 to 75% of the people do not get a permit. And I said, and we haven't burnt the state down yet. And New York just repealed theirs. New York, very controlling state, said it's not worth having the campfire permits. Now if you have a big bonfire,
That's a whole new ballgame.
and I agree with that. If you're going to have a 5-foot, 10-foot bonfire, it probably wouldn't hurt to let the fire department know,
Yeah.
because that's going to create a lot of smoke
Right.
and
Yeah.
a lot of issues. And but a small campfire with your grandchildren on your back lawn, I shouldn't have to call and so
I
that's
have
where
an
that
indoor
pin
outdoor
came from.
grill that I use on my porch. I wanted to tell you, somebody called the fire department.
Did they? Oh, gee.
That's okay, and that's fine. But I also
And what
have
did
a
they
fi-
say when they got there?
Oh, no problem.
Oh, yeah.
They were polite. I think we have the greatest fire department. I really do. But I also, one thing I will tell you, and I think you'll back me up. The landlords used to have to provide fire extinguishers for us. And I don't know what happened to that, but they don't anymore. But I encourage people to have apartment insurance.
Oh,
I
absolutely. Renter's
encourage
insurance?
renters
Yes.
insurance,
Yeah.
And also to have fire extinguishers.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
know.
Yeah. Fire
We have-
alarms, fire
the
extinguishers.
fire alarms we have
It-
in our house.
And you can buy those fire, they're not cheap, they're $40, $45. But they're, what is it, CO2 or,
Right.
the carbon monoxide.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, the carbon monoxide plus smoke, and they have a 10-year battery. You don't ever have to replace the batteries, and they're just good for 10 years.
Yeah, that's good.
The fire alarm system we have, so you can't even cook without it going on.
Really?
Or if we're running a fan, it goes
Yeah.
off. So we say, what do we do? So when we cook, we have, then I put it right back in, because you never know when your landlord's going to come in.
Yeah, yeah.
And I love where I live, John. I really do. Mary's been there, right? Mary?
Yeah.
And we have cookouts there. I have
Ah.
3 grills. What I would like to do eventually is have, like, across the street, like, invite you and all the political people that are running for office,
Yeah.
and have a big cookout at the park.
Oh, yeah.
I think that would be. You know what I find amazing? That Heidi Hammer, She's a new rep.
Oh, okay.
Okay, she's a Democrat.
Yeah.
I do not get any type of responses back from her.
Ah, really?
And I even voted for her.
Yeah. No, see, I respond to almost everybody. You know, sadly,
And
there is a few emails that I do miss.
Times.
Oh yeah, see, you know that I wouldn't miss. You know, it's rare that I miss an email, but right now I'm probably receiving 200 to 220 emails a day. And
One
I try to
was
respond
about
to all of them.
education.
Oh yeah.
Okay, that she did some kind of a promo bill or one of them, and the other one about the anti-gun.
Yeah.
And I got all big. Of course, I went to the page, boy, and I put it all over Facebook.
Yeah, no, they should respond. I hate when they don't.
You know, I mean, if you're going to be representing my ward,
Yes. Yeah.
then you need to respond.
Yeah.
Because I have made up my mind. I'm going to run.
Oh, you are?
Yep.
Good.
Mary's going to run, and I'm going to run.
Yeah.
Mary's going to be a Democrat.
I'm a Democrat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm going to run as an independent and become a Republican. At one time, I was a very strong Democrat.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But was it the John Kennedy Democrat?
Yeah.
Because that's what most of this area is, which is really the Republican today.
Right.
You know, the Democrats, in my eyes, the Republicans, in my eyes, went a little soft down to the John Kennedy Democrat era. But then the Democrats have just gone off way over to the side.
I can always remember the Republican governor coming to the Laconia State School and Training Center back then. The way that they treated those children, which is so, so incredible. John, what was his name, the Democrat?
Democrat or Republican?
Democrat.
Oh, I can't. Oh, John Lynch.
No, there was another one before.
Oh,
King.
That's way back.
Yeah,
That's way
King.
back.
Tell my age. Now.
Yes.
They even named the building after him. He couldn't even be bothered to come up and visit the clients.
Really?
Governor Powell let the kids sit all over him. Governor Sununu, not the one we have now, but his father.
The father.
The father.
Yeah, the senior.
Yeah. It was just so. If I can find my pictures, I'll show them to you. He was just so. He didn't care. They tried to tell me you cannot bring the most severely challenged child. Back then they called it retarded child. Yeah. We did it anyways.
Yeah.
And to watch the way he's allowed them to hug him. John Sununu was a hero as far as I'm concerned.
Oh, yeah.
He allowed them to hold his hand. He did not treat any of them any differently than a normal person.
Yeah, and you shouldn't.
No.
Yeah.
And I get weepy when I think about it. And Governor Powell, and actually Thompson was the same way. Why does it take the Republicans to show the empathy towards the children?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, some do.
I challenge anybody to prove me wrong, ladies and gentlemen. And you know that I like a good challenge.
Yes, yeah.
Not that I ever stir trouble, right?
I know.
Yeah. What's happening with the abortion bill? Do we have that here in New Hampshire?
No, nothing that I know is coming forward. They did kill the repeal of the buffer zone again because the Supreme Court has ruled that you can't have a buffer zone on public property. You know, sidewalk.
What's a buffer zone?
In Manchester, I don't know what street it's on.
Pennacook? The abortion clinic?
Yeah, the abortion clinic.
Yeah, it's Pennacook. Between Pennacook, between Chestnut and Elm.
Well, they wanted a buffer zone, so protesters...
They're close to Chestnut.
They couldn't walk on the sidewalk. Well, I went to court, and they threw it right out. They said, no, you can't stop anybody from walking on a sidewalk.
The only thing I don't like about when they show the abortion to young children.
Yeah.
And my granddaughter was 7 or 8 years old, and I said, "What the hell are you doing?"
Yeah.
Well, let her know. I go, "No, you're not."
Yeah.
And this guy said, "You can't stop it." I said, "I think I just did."
Yeah.
And I said, "Could I see the picture?" "Oh yeah, sure." You don't show children things like that. It's it's the parents' job.
Yes.
Like, I don't believe they should teach sex in school.
I agree with you.
That is the parents' job.
No, I agree with you.
Yes, I
Not
do
the
too.
youngest one. No, you keep
And
it
all
up
these-
young.
Well, they're teaching them
Or
in
young.
first, second grade.
Yeah, well, they wanted my
That's
granddaughter
wrong,
in the
very
3rd
wrong.
grade to take a banana.
Yeah. That's,
And I went to the school. I said, "Why did she?" Well, I'll go, "No, she's not."
Yeah.
See, my daughter-in-law and my son, I went to Big Mouth. And then they moved away, so I couldn't fight anymore, and I lost it. But I am very fortunate that my granddaughter is doing well. We almost lost. I think I told you about it. Yes. Got a hope for suicide. Yeah. And there's a prime example of what Facebook and bullying in school can do to people.
Well, absolutely.
You know?
Yeah. I have voted against every bullying bill before me, and they all fail. And the reason is because the states that have bullying bills have more bullies. It's been proven. Because what they do is the bully says, oh, this is the law. So they don't, they go outside the law. They skirt it so that they can't get in trouble. But it's still bullying.
Mm-hmm. I was bullied, and I was a bullier.
I never bullied, but I was bullied.
I was bullied.
And you know what? Neither one is a winning situation.
No.
I can remember a guy was walking down the stairs, and somehow there was a fish line that just happened to come up when he was walking down the stairs, and somehow he fell over the fish line and broke his arm. That's what happened,
Yeah.
Then they kicked me out of school, and two friends of mine died because at Proctor Academy we stole their fire issues and started getting into the tree. Back then they enforced the laws.
Yes, yeah.
Back then, if you did something wrong, although I got away with it because my father was a judge, my foster father, I couldn't help in a logging chain, went on the rear axle of a car and just had to go around the telephone pole, something like that. But we didn't hear about people killing each other.
No.
We didn't hear about knives. When you got in a fight, you got in a fight, and it was fisticuffs.
Yes.
And it wasn't 3 or 4 on one. I'm not saying it never happened, Like, if you ever watch that movie, West Side Story?
Oh, yes, yeah.
That was gang-related way back then.
Oh, yes, yeah.
And like this, what I'm concerned about is this young woman that got killed. It should have never, ever happened. When that woman got shot in the back?
Oh, yes.
At the nightclub there?
Yes, yeah, that's terrible.
The anti-gun people...
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to play this, right? Do I think it's wrong that they did it? Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot more to it than we'll ever know.
Oh, yes, yeah. But I think they got video surveillance of some of it.
But I think this is all
they
planned.
do.
It was like a gang-related, each one of them.
Yeah.
Oh, now... The guy got arrested shortly after that.
Oh, yes.
With crack cocaine. Yeah. He was a Vietnam vet. Or not a Vietnam, but he was a military vet. Yeah. All that military...
Yeah.
And he ruined it by doing crack or having it or whatever. How sad.
Yeah, I don't think drugs, they target anybody that will do them.
And I don't, what, marijuana is not the gateway to
No.
drug.
No.
Ritalin is a gateway.
Yeah, probably could
Ritalin has speed in it.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh.
A very dear friend of mine, you wouldn't love. Talk about me being gay. Let me tell you, he was a little more flamboyant than I am, You would have loved him, Mary. And they misdiagnosed him that he had AIDS when he didn't.
Yeah.
When he had it, but his body became so used to it comes into the medication. And he would admit that's what he was on mescaline or speed or whatever, and he said that's what started him.
Huh?
And I have 2 female clients that's how they get started with the Ritalin.
Well, I was very fortunate to be allowed to go to the Stratford County. I don't know why I didn't go to the Hillsborough County, but I went to the Stratford County jail and sat down with me, and it was probably another 4 state reps, and we sat down with the ladies over there and also the gentlemen. And one of my questions to the lady was, or to the ladies, and I asked the gentleman too, but the lady came back with, a huge, she really sat me back with her answer. I said, was marijuana the start of your drug abuse? And they all giggled. And she goes, no. Our parents' liquor cabinet was. Almost every one of them said they started heavily drinking, and then they wanted to get that high from their drinking, so they turned to the drugs, and then they started the heavier drugs. They said the marijuana, I've never taken it, but they said what it does is it makes you want to call the pizza place.
Oh, yeah, Domino's.
Order pizza. And I guess you just sit there and kind of space out. You just never hear of anybody robbing, high on marijuana, robbing a bank or anything else.
The first time I did marijuana, I was in California. I was going to school, and a friend of mine says, "Here, try this," because I didn't smoke cigarettes or anything like that. And I was, well, try it. You'll like it. And he said, "I'll even buy dinner." He didn't offer to buy dinner again.
Yes.
And I'm not a big fan of pizza.
Yeah.
But when I was smoking in LaConia, we had one, and Donald Pizza brought over 3 pizzas for the two of us. We both ate a pizza. Then I wondered why I was sick the next day. However, I do not believe that marijuana is addicting. It can be psychologically. Oh, I gotta have that smoke.
I think you're right. Yes, but I don't think it's like nicotine. That
Oh, not at
grabs you.
all. It was harder for me when I didn't have a cigarette than it was for Ed and
Yeah.
And I'm not going to say I don't smoke. I'm not going to be a hypocrite. I do smoke, and I'm not going to. If you're going to hide in the closet on something that you do, then
Yes.
don't do it.
Yeah. But no, it did, the repeal of, or to make marijuana legal, it did pass the House, which it always has.
Right.
Or not always, but, in the recent years. The problem's going to be is the Senate or, Governor Sununu has already said he's going to veto it. And I don't know if they have veto proof.
I actually think you could override that.
Yeah, I do. They do on the House side for the death penalty. The repeal of the death penalty is veto proof.
I would much rather, I'm an alcoholic, I've been sober now 23 years, but I'd much rather see a person smoking than drinking.
Yeah. I
What's
mean,
that
I don't
paper?
do either, luckily.
What's that paper?
Oh, I was just having some of my bills on there.
Oh,
and,
what do you got?
Well, it's that red flag, and then,
Yeah.
and I have why I voted against it,
Right.
and luckily they did. The motions was ought to pass with an amendment, and that failed, and I was like, whoa. And they have the numbers. I mean, the Democrats are in control, and they could have passed this. 2 of them, one lady came over and saw me. I think she's from Milford. Real nice lady, and she explained, she's a Democrat, and she explained to me why she voted against it, and I was like, well, thank you for sharing, because I do want to know. And and I'm friendly with everybody up there. You might vote different,
That's
but
the way it should be.
it should be that way. But some people are just angry people. Both sides. I'm not saying either side, but both sides have angry people, and I'm like, why?
I know.
Yes, you disagree with me politically, but
You can still be friends.
yes,
Mary and I had different views on political things,
Yep.
but we're still best friends.
yes, and that's the way it
That's
should
Glenn
be.
and I,
Yeah.
well, Lori, that used to be my co-host,
Yes.
she flipped out on me one time, and I think she was going
We should be, Elming. This is what America's all about.
That's what we
Yeah.
fight for.
Yeah.
Like, I
We
think
have our rights.
Pelosi has early dementia.
Yeah.
She's calling Trump Bush.
Oh yeah.
And that woman that's in there now, what's her name? She's a Muslim.
Oh yeah. That's an
Isn't there a
issue.
way that we can get her for treason or something?
Well,
I can't believe that people voted on them.
yeah, no, she has major issues.
She has a huge following.
Yeah.
That she wants to stop cows from farting.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
that other one there,
the
the
other
young
one?
girl.
Oh.
Yeah, AOC they call
Yeah.
her. I don't know how you say her
That's
name.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And
Yeah.
now that
Well, she wants to do away with all airplanes.
yeah,
And I'm like,
but for
okay.
herself.
Yes. Yeah. Well, now she just got brought up on ethics charges because when she first got elected, she says, I can't afford an apartment. Well, now somewhere's one of her people under her direction removed like $885,000 out of an account she had control of
Right.
and put it into a private fund. And now she's like, well, no, it doesn't. It's not what it looks like. Well, it looks like it did.
If it quacks like a duck.
Yes.
I actually see her being forced to resign.
Yeah. Oh yeah. She's out there. And,
You know what? I find funny. Trump was in Alabama.
Yeah.
And he and I'm waiting for the Democrats to make all kinds of problems about it.
yeah.
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 I think you agree that he's doing a good job down in Alabama.
Yeah, I mean, every president, it's happened. They should go to something like
Right.
that. But the Puerto Rico people are getting nothing. Are getting nothing from them.
Well,
from
Trump
anybody.
donated $2 million out of his own personal pocket to Puerto
But
Rico.
still, was nothing. Those half of those people still have no electricity,
Yeah.
no nothing.
Yeah.
But the governor, or the governor of Puerto Rico, the leader there, is refusing to let. This was on. Because, I always believe in CNN either. But,
Yeah.
and it's refusing to let the help and aid go in there.
Why? Why wouldn't a country that's been devastated say, okay, if America or Europe or Russians or wherever, the Soviet Union,
You ever watch
wanted
that
help?
Bar Rescue?
No.
Oh, they went a couple of weeks ago, Scott. It was 3-4 weeks ago, and they showed a picture of them going to Puerto Rico. They redid a bar over, and they went over, and they really did a basketball court and a park all over.
Wow.
So there are people out there helping them,
Yes. Yeah.
but the governor's got to stay out of it and let them help them.
Yes. Yeah.
I am not going to tell you I know how they feel because I don't.
Yes. Yeah. I can't.
But
imagine.
I think that instead of helping other countries first, we need to help ourselves.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm also scared that they're going to bring that abortion. I believe that abortion bill is already. I believe that they can't prove it, but I believe that people have babies that have died at full term. Can we call it accidental?
Yeah. I don't know if our laws in New Hampshire prevent it now.
No, they don't.
Yeah. So I don't think they need to bring a bill because we already have it.
And
Yeah.
it breaks my heart.
Yeah, no, I'm against abortion, and what I tell people that support abortion, if you want to have a debate with me on, the first month or the second month, you know what? I guess we can talk. I believe at conception is life, but at least we can talk. But when we talk 9 months,
Is it that's discipline murder?
that is.
And then they
It-
use the baby actually feels the pain.
Yes, yeah, or even 8 months.
Yeah.
In my eyes, that's a baby. 6 months is a baby.
3 months is from
Yeah,
the
well,
Doesn't
born
matter.
of conception to me is a child.
Yes, yeah. But but I tell people, if you want to have a debate on 1 or 2 months, okay, is it a baby? Does it have a heartbeat? Some say yes, some say no.
I say that.
Yeah, I do too. But at least we can have a debate. But at 6 months, 8 months, 9 months, that's a baby in there.
And the thing that bothers me the most, not only killing is murder, as far as I'm concerned.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing that bothers me the most is if your wife and you were married, well, you aren't married, but
Yes.
you know what I mean.
Yes.
And then your wife decided, well, I don't want to carry this baby. She doesn't have to tell you.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And I think that's wrong.
I
Yeah.
do too. Because there are some people out there who would make great parents, and there's so many out there that want to have children.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, even if you're raped, I don't use that as an excuse of murder.
No, that
That-
part I say, because
And that's
you
okay.
don't know who the person is,
Yeah.
or anything else, and that person's going to be raped. It's there. Get rid of it right then and there. Don't
Yeah.
wait 6 months down
Right,
the
that's
road.
what I'm saying, Because now
Yes,
they have an
yeah.
anti-sex thing down. There's a drug that if you've had sex, you can take that one. You won't, take if you were going to be pregnant or what wrong.
They even have a pill out.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Well,
Yeah, you can take
it's that morning after.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
They've
something
been
like that.
It didn't
advertising
work for
that.
me.
Yeah.
Only
Yeah.
gave you a bigger hangover.
Yeah.
But I would hope, that's one of the reasons why I'm more seriously contemplating on running, because some of the bills that they have out there are ridiculous.
Yeah. Some of them
Like
are.
like the Keno, they claim they're not making all that money with the Keno.
Oh, I thought the revenues were coming in. I
That's
don't
what I
know.
thought. And they were
Yeah, I
talking
don't
about how
care for it.
that they want to increase, the state wants more money.
Oh.
Okay, and as it is now, the state gets what, 3% or whatever. I'm not
Yeah.
too sure. They want to go 5%,
Wow.
and the people who own them, and say no, they'll pull them out.
Yeah.
Because that's like the Powerball, the mega bucks.
Yeah.
Why isn't that going into the education like it is supposed to go?
Yeah, it's supposed to go there. Some does, but I think they siphon some off.
Well, yeah, they got to pay the
Yeah.
people that run the lotteries.
Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah.
$100,000 to $200,000 a
Yeah.
year.
Yeah.
Did you see? I am so glad. Did you see where that idiot ran against Bill Gardner and lost?
Oh yes. No, I voted for Gardner.
I did too.
Yeah. No, I would have.
He's done a great job.
He has. He's been there for I think 42, going on 44
Right.
years.
Wow.
He's the longest serving Secretary of State in history of the United States.
And he's still pretty sharp.
He is. Yeah.
I think he's going to retire this year.
I do too. I don't think he wants to go through another run, like he just did. So it scares me who they're going to put up.
Yeah. Do you see where that guy was the sergeant at arms? He was in his 80s.
Walter Sword, yeah. They forced him out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't happy. It's a shame what they did to him.
They cut his hours out.
Yep, cut his hours. Threw him out of his office. They gave him like a broom closet well, they really didn't give him an office. They said you can sit in the back room. There's an ante room, they call it, a back room. All the years he gave to us.
40 years, wasn't it?
I don't know how long he was there, but as Sergeant of Arms, I voted for him since I've been there, and I've been there 10 years. So I voted for him every time, and he never showed partisan. I know he was a Republican, but he never showed it. He stayed straight and narrow. He treated everybody the same.
I was a little bit angry with Sununu over that.
Well, I don't think, no, Sununu didn't have anything to do with it.
I had to blame somebody.
Yeah, no, it was the Speaker.
Speaker of the House, he's a Democrat, right?
Yep, Steve Shurtleff. Yeah. He has the control.
I hope he is really proud of himself.
Yeah.
I have a lot of women that come to my office that have had abortions. The nightmares these people go through.
I've heard that.
There was a woman when I belonged to the New Christian Fellowship in Laconia.
Yeah.
And she used to run a women's clinic. And she openly confessed to God and all those forgiveness of all the abortions that she has done.
Yeah, no, it's sad.
I have a hard, and I don't understand. She made a lot of money off it. Yeah. I don't know how people could. I know CMC will not do abortions.
Yeah, no, I don't think they do. Well, I don't think any hospitals around here.
No, the Catholic ones will do it.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about Elliot.
I don't think they do it either. No. Not that I know of. No, I think because they have the abortion clinic here.
Yeah. I don't want my tax dollars going to it.
Yes. Well, and Warren Groen got up on the House floor. He used to be a former representative, a dear friend of mine. He lives in Pennsylvania now where his grandchildren are when he got done. But he's from Rochester. And he said, what's sad is every week in Manchester, a 4th grade class is dying. And I'm sitting there going, what? And he said there's 20 to 26 mothers, are aborting their babies every week in Manchester.
I believe it.
And that's a 4th grade class. So I'm going, because, and the reason he used 4th grade is because every 4th grade, or almost every 4th grade class in New Hampshire comes to the State House. So he said, one class is dying every week. And I'm going, that's a lot of kids.
When I was born, I weighed 2 pounds, 2 ounces.
Wow.
Okay? I often think, if abortions had been legal back then, would I have been aborted?
Yeah.
Because my mother had cancer and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And I often think about that, and that's why I'm so opposed.
Yeah.
I like protest. I've been arrested more than once for protesting.
Oh. Yeah.
Not at the Burt nuclear. I paid a $2,500 fine. And saved the whales. I did that in New York. Oh yeah, I'm a firm believer in let's save our animals. They care more about the endangerment of wild animals than they care about people.
Some people do, yes.
The WWE for the wild tiger. Yeah, I'm not against all that. But let's take care of the people first. Or now I am not in favor of, hey, Joe didn't call, so we couldn't argue.
I know.
I'm not in favor of going around killing
I know. He got the doctors.
Yeah. What is it? Not the wolves, but one of the other ones.
The ones they want to kill. It is the wolf, isn't it?
Oh, here in New Hampshire?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. Yeah, I think it is.
There's the wolves or something like that.
Yeah.
That come in and they kill the chicken, cat, dog people,
whatever. Yeah.
And there's a bounty on them now.
Well, because they say they're overpopulated. Right. The past couple of years have been really good for breeding.
Right. Well, you know what? If the people would stop taking their property away,
well, that's some of it. Yes.
And the people and their wolves or whatever they're coming in. You know what? It'll come to me when I get home.
Yeah, it is the wolf, isn't it?
Well, but there's something else more.
But also the squirrels last year were an
Oh, the
abundance.
squirrels.
Oh, I have a
Unreal.
lot of them.
Boy, there was a million of them.
I
running
go
around.
through. Yeah, I go through 4 5-pound bags of peanuts from the squirrels. They come up on my porch and they look at us and they got their little paws going. And then we feed the bird. Oh yeah, that's why I like where I live. Out in the back where I live, it's like an animal sanctuary.
Huh.
We have 2 golfers. We have possum. We had the
Wow.
oh yeah, and out front you had the city where a guy got shot in the head. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, that must have been.
It was 2 o'clock in the morning. Oh yeah,
Ah.
I was out in the. And I think I just missed it by like 10 seconds. And damn it, I always miss the action.
Yeah.
But, and then, Manchester, as far as I'm going, is on the downhill.
Yeah, sadly, it's not.
No
Yeah,
porta
where it should-
potties.
Yeah. And they have a huge homeless problem, and I don't think the mayor, knows how to,
Handle it.
take care
Well,
of
you
it.
got to be careful because you get with the ACUL or the ALUC
Yeah,
or something like
yeah,
that.
the ACLU.
No matter what they do.
American
like
Civil Liberties
American
Union.
Yeah, that had
Yeah.
nothing to
Tim
do with the
Baines.
Catholics.
Tim Baines is trying to, do things, but the Civil Liberties Union said, no, you're going to violate their rights. What about your rights? Mary and I were coming out of the show one time, this guy, and this guy had white hair and a white beard. We thought we were going to be attacked by him.
Yeah, that ain't the first time he's
No,
done that to
yeah,
us.
he's done that. And another time we walked by, and I had my bishop friend with me, and the guy was laying there on the sidewalk. Nobody paid attention to him, even the people walking by.
Yeah.
And we stopped, Mary and I stopped. He would have been dead had I not woke him up.
He was
I called
turning
the
blue.
fire department.
Wow.
It was
Oh,
turning
yeah.
blue.
Yeah. That's the sad part with it, not only in Manchester, but every effing city, state in this United States.
Oh,
Nobody cares, except a very few of us.
yeah.
Look how hard you're fighting.
Yeah.
It seems like a losing battle at times.
Yeah. Well, I remember when Mayor Craig got into office, she, one of the first things she did is she went down on the riverbank and threw them all out. And I'm going, all right, well, where are they going to go?
They had no place to go.
So they go to Elm Street, and now they're living on the street there.
Yeah.
And now the business owners are like, hey, put them back on the riverbank.
Come find out we didn't even own the riverbank. That belonged to the railroad, B&N Railroad.
Really? So they didn't even have any right to go do that.
Nope. They destroyed a lot. I mean, yeah, they had their problems there, but
Yeah.
you know what? Have a police officer go by there once or twice a day.
Yeah.
Or make it like an hour.
Yeah.
Okay?
I mean, well, that's it. Does anybody have the answers for it? Probably not.
No.
But just to go destroy their homes, because that's the only home that they have. So to make the homeless more homeless, I'm going. All right, let's sit down and try to figure out how to deal with the problem, because I think there's people that want to be homeless.
Yeah,
There
Oh,
are,
yeah,
absolutely.
definitely. Yeah.
yeah, there are people that don't
Yeah.
want to live.
I had at one
know,
time.
Yeah.
I was
in a
living-
house.
I talked about 20 years ago, at one time, maybe 20, that I used to have different people come in that were homeless and stay at my house. But
Yeah.
then they couldn't stay and they had to go.
Yeah.
But there's one guy, I never had so much food in my house as I had when he was staying there.
Huh.
And I said to him one day, how are you don't work. How the hell are you getting all this food? I said, no, I don't want to. He was doing walk up and down the different streets there, borrowing the food there, like that. I go, oh my God. I said, I can't have this.
Yeah.
But like you just said, a lot of them prefer to be homeless.
Yeah, I think there is a segment, and then there's the ones that are homeless because of, job
Sure,
situation
yeah,
and stuff. And, I think we need to help those,
Yeah.
see what we can
Well,
do.
there was a
They
guy.
don't want to be helped. A lot of them don't. I still say, I don't know if you're old enough to know it, but they have what they call WWPA.
Oh, yeah, that was before
Bring
my
it
time.
back for
yeah, I
them.
remember
Yeah.
that.
And if they don't want to go out there, you take a shovel or a broom and
Yeah.
a bucket with them,
Yeah,
then they get nothing.
yeah.
Well,
Yeah, absolutely. I remember. I don't remember. I was a child when they
Right.
did away with it.
Yeah.
So I don't. But I remember seeing those places.
When I was in Laconia, my ex-wife and I were having some problems financially because
Yeah.
I cut my little toe off cutting a tree down,
Oh,
I got it sewed back on, and you never know I hadn't lost it.
Huh.
I went to Derry Hospital, the guy sewed it on wrong.
wow.
My supervisor had to drink 2 beers before he took me to the And I was on a witness for a witness comp check. So my wife we went to City Hall, and I feel it's the way we should have done it. And the director of the city welfare says, "We will help you, but you have to work."
Yes.
In other words, she did office work.
Yeah.
So that would, I think, back then, and so we got maybe enough to pay the rent and stuff like that, rent vouchers and stuff.
Yeah.
And I don't think, and I'm very much in favor of people having to work.
Well, in Vermont, we used to have the overseer of the poor.
Right.
And he would, he knew you.
Yeah.
And he would give you a little bit. I remember I got one book in the 30s in Barnet, Vermont.
Right.
When I was living there, I found this one book, and it showed where they paid the Barnet store, $2.12 for Mrs. So-and-so because her husband just died. And
you got voucher. You get money, you got voucher.
Yes, and they paid for her, sugar and flour and whatever else she got.
They would buy you a certain amount of clothes.
Yeah.
Like that. And I fight with the state welfare people when they, instead of getting the money now, they get cash, right?
Yes.
They used to have, you go to certain stores and you can buy your groceries and go to certain clothing stores once or twice a year and then have then go with you, or you can go pick out.
Well, like you said, it was a voucher,
Yeah.
And I remember food stamps. I remember a lady in front of me, and it looked like Monopoly money. I was fortunate enough, never had to get them, but and I remember a lady in front of me was using them, and it looked like Monopoly money. And I asked, I think my now ex-wife, but I asked my wife, "What's that?" And she said, "Well, it's just food stamps."
I heard my daughter-in-law was having trouble, so she and my son had gotten laid off and he got sick. Yeah. And she went to Hennepin with a book of food stamps. And the cashier's holding up like this and going, really embarrassing my daughter-in-law.
Yeah.
And she said, "Oh, this is a food stamp?" And I looked at her and I said, "You know what? You just did the most incredibly horrible thing. I'm going to make sure that this store will lose their license because of you."
Yeah.
And the manager come running over, "What happened?" And I told her, I said, "She embarrassed my daughter-in-law. What right does she have to do that?"
Yeah, yeah.
And the girl got fired. And my daughter-in-law got $150 worth of food.
Yeah.
Free.
Yeah.
You have no right to do that to people. It's hard. Some people just take it for granted, at least outside.
Sadly, some do. Yeah.
But for me or you, I know you would be embarrassed, right?
Yeah, I've never had them in my life.
I applied for it to see what do I do. I need $5 too much.
Yeah.
I have to pay my own insurance.
No, if I was ever
And
down
you do
and
too.
down and out, I'd probably go down to Salem and buy my groceries. I wouldn't buy them here just in case.
No, yeah.
But now it's all debit cards, so nobody really
So
knows.
it looks like a credit card. One lady says to me, and my daughter-in-law, if daughters are like my daughter-in-law, she's a saint as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
I call her my guardian angel. Do you think she tells the doctor and everything I do? But my daughter-in-law does not like carrots.
Oh, I love
Right?
carrots.
Yes. Oh my God. Yeah.
And Mary, when she has to make sure Mary, when she comes over for dinner, Mary makes that special carrot dish that you make.
Canadian carrots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they are so good for her. But
Well, I remember one time this is when I was living in Vermont. A gentleman friend of mine, he owned a house, and him and his wife were retired. The wife died, and during that time, she had cancer, and they were trying to, a lot of bills, and they were paying them. He got down on his luck, but he owned a house, and he was a very proud man, and boy was he mad. He went to the welfare office and said, "Look, I know in a couple months I can get back on my feet. I just need a little help with food." They denied him because he owned a house. Yeah. He was some livid. He goes, "How dare you? I paid my taxes. I've never been in here," and carried on. And that is the kind of person I want to help.
Me too. There was a guy, a very good friend of mine as well, and his wife and him both got ill.
Yep. Yeah.
And so he went to apply for the Medicaid card.
Yep, Medicaid.
State welfare, and they made him sign their house over to them.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she died 2 months later. And all they did was $1,500. They refused to give it back to him.
Wow. Yeah.
He said, "I'll pay you back the money."
Yep.
Nope, it was years. It was like a $200,000 house.
Yeah.
He literally
Yeah.
had it. You know, and then there are people who get it and do, and they don't appreciate it.
Well, they think they're entitled.
Yeah.
You know,
And
those people throw them out in the road.
Yeah, I call them trash.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Sadly,
it's not, and folks, it has nothing to do with color.
no,
You
no,
know,
no.
the whites are just. I went to a trailer. I can remember going, because you know how they talk about down south. They talk about the trailer parks, the trashy trailer
Yep.
parks. I went to one in Chichester, New Hampshire,
Yeah,
and I said, "What the hell is this?"
yeah,
If you don't, folks, it's all of us. We all have to work together
yes, yeah,
to make our country strong again.
yeah.
Help those who need help, but make sure they're legal.
Exactly.
Like the people that got, like I just said, bought their house.
Yeah,
I am so excited for them.
yeah.
You
Oh, it's a huge accomplishment.
Yeah. And then their family members went to Ohio, and Ohio gave them the house instead of buying them.
Yeah.
They didn't have to pay. And this the father actually works in the machine shop, and the mother works too, and the kid, one of the boys went to Syracuse, $62,000 a year,
Wow.
and we paid it.
Yeah.
What I'm upset about that, if he would use it, but now he decided that wasn't good, so now we're paying for him to go to school to become a nurse.
Yeah.
I know, and we all know he's going back to his homeland,
Yeah.
and that's okay again.
Yeah.
Their daughter is talk about family loyalty. All those people from Beijing, like when the dad was sick, and they were up there, and the dad with pants started falling down. One of the children went over, no embarrassing or anything, pulled the guy's pants up and fixed it, dressed him in front of other people.
Yeah.
Like it was no embarrassment.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, they have respect.
Yeah. We don't have it today.
No, not in some.
I'll bet your children respect you.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
My son does too.
Yeah.
My son and I, at one time, because he couldn't handle gay people.
Yeah.
But and plus I'm an alcoholic, But she can. But if you look at me and you look at my son, we're
Yeah.
related, right?
Oh, yes.
When he got his hair cut completely off, like 3 years ago, 4 years ago, I literally cried because his hair was always down here.
Wow.
But he said, "Dad, I got a good job. I gotta look the
Yes,
part."
the part.
He's a machinist. This man can do calculus and algebra in his head.
Yeah.
Can you?
No. No.
I'm lucky if I can read it right.
Well, I have a brother-in-law that works for Skyline roofing company.
Yeah.
And it's incredible. He does the sheet metal or the and the copper.
Right.
He'll look at something and measure it, and all of a sudden he'll say, "Okay," well, and he'll go and bend it. I mean, and it's perfect. And I'm like, "Wow."
Well, he has to do calculus and algebra because he's a machinist.
Yes. Yeah.
And he said, "Well, no, blah 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 blah." And I go,
Yeah.
I don't have type of paper.
Yeah.
But to me, it's a shame. I had to struggle when I was in college, going to algebra and chemistry.
Well, our friend Gary Hopper, he used to be a machinist, and they're smart.
I guess he's not coming in.
Oh, he's not.
No.
Oh,
Because I guess he's skipping the show today.
yeah, yeah.
I'm really concerned between you and I don't want to sit in front of him unless I'm concerned about his health.
Yeah, yeah. Hopefully, Gary.
He
Well,
must weigh 300 pounds.
on his. Oh, I don't know. Yeah,
Look out.
yeah.
You saved your life.
Yes. Yeah.
How long ago has it been now?
December 21st was 3 years.
What has it been that long?
Yeah. Yeah. 135 pounds and.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah.
And you appreciate your living every day.
Oh yes. Well, what I have is the old John Burt back. When I sold the tree company, that's when I gained all my weight, and it was just out of control.
When are you going to take your wife on a cruise?
We've been thinking about it. What we want to do is go back to Alaska. We went 16 days. We rented an RV and traveled Alaska.
Nice.
It was
I actually see you
that
this
was
spring, late spring.
yeah.
Well, the legislators is on committee, on a leave of absence or whatever.
Yeah.
I do see you going back there.
Yeah.
I actually see you, and I also see you going to Newfoundland.
Yeah, I'd like to go up there. Yeah, but, we really want to go back to Alaska, and then we want to go back to Alaska during the winter just to see it. Only spend a week
there.
there.
You haven't missed a meeting, have you?
No, I have. Well, I've missed a few committee meetings, but House session, as of knock on wood, hopefully God will allow me to keep going. I have perfect House session attendance, and I've never missed a vote in the 9 years I've been
But
here.
you know that if you did, you would feel guilty.
I would, because I promised the voters I will try to be there, and I understand that perfect attendance is hard, because they're paying you $100 a year to do this.
Well, it's a lot of money.
Yes, the taxpayers are, but most people up there have jobs and they work around, so they're still working 40 hours plus putting 25, 30 hours up there.
How many would you say on an average, a percentage of people that actually attend that?
Oh, have
10%,
perfect?
10%, 20% are actually that.
Oh, not even that many. I think last term there was me and maybe out of 400 reps, maybe 5 of us had perfect attendance.
That's sad.
Yeah.
And especially with the people that come all the way up from up north.
Yes.
Now they get paid mileage.
They do get paid mileage. Yep. Yeah.
Do you get paid for being on the committees?
No.
You don't get paid by the lobbyists. Hey,
No.
Really?
No, the Senate does.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the Senate gets a lot of money, but the House, because there's so many of us, they ignore us, and they spend all their money
So
over
you're
the
not
Senate.
going to vote to make sure the milk stays white?
Yeah, no, it will stay white.
I don't. You know what I think about milk, and I don't understand. Maybe you can help me. That all of they get your milk 2 now, whatever that means.
Oh, I don't know what
A2,
that is. Yeah.
And then you got 2%. Then you got.
Oh yeah, I don't know how they do
But they
that.
have a new one.
It's like
now,
skim milk.
Yeah.
I can't stand skim milk.
Yeah. No,
and that
I like whole
1%,
milk.
Yeah.
Or I have drink
I do drink
2%.
2%.
Yeah, I can live with 2%. I don't know what that means.
That 1%. It's like instant milk.
It's like water.
Yeah. Oh my God, my mother. When I was growing up, my mother used to
Powdered
get
milk.
My father used to get that powdered milk.
And powdered eggs.
Yeah. I like the powdered egg because you can make, they're good for cakes and stuff like that. I used to like the canned pork.
Oh my
and the
God,
canned
yes.
chicken. Did you like that too?
Oh yeah.
So and
Turkey.
yeah, I guess you could say I guess I lived off the government, and stuff like that. But you know what? The only thing I didn't like was their luncheon meat.
Yeah.
People told me it tasted
It was like spam.
yeah. Oh God, that was disgusting. They said it was like horse meat.
Ah.
Have you ever had horse meat?
No.
Facility I couldn't.
I've had. You wouldn't even know it.
My dog, my brother, when he was in the Korean War, told me he had a real dog. And then kill a dog, then push him down.
Yeah.
To this day, he's passed since. But
Oh, one funny story is I don't know if I ever told you. I think I have told you. Remember when I had my stents put in? I had 2 stents in June 4th, 2012. And when I was laying there on the operating table, it was my first term, and it was so funny because Burt, a good friend of mine down in Bedford, he was a state rep, Burt Frometh, and he went to the state house sick, and his wife was like, "Bart, you got to stay home." I can't. And then she told her the story about John Burt. He says John had stents put in on a Monday in his heart, and they wanted him to stay 2 to 3 days, and he kept telling the surgeon, and I did. I said, I got perfect attendance, and if I can, I understand, if I can, I want to go to the state house. You do realize you're having heart surgery. I do realize that. Can we speed it up? And he patted me and he goes, "Mr. Burt, we'll see what we can do." And the next day, Tuesday morning, the nurse came in, madder than a wet hen, over a CMC. She goes, "Who do you know?" I said, "I don't know anybody. Why?" "I just got orders that if you go down and pass a stress test, you go home today," which is on Tuesday, which is unheard of. And she says, "We don't want that. We want you to stay right here." So I said, "No, I'll go do the stress test." And I passed, and everything was perfect. And it was just so funny seeing the representatives when I walked in 2 days after I had heart surgery. They're like, "John, what are you doing?" "I promised the voters I'd be here if I could." If the doctor, the surgeon said, "You know what, John? No, you got to stay," I would have stayed.
No, you wouldn't. No.
Well, I would have tried to sneak out.
I think I'll get a pass for that day.
I get a bill. I'm not going to say what hospital. It's not important.
Yeah.
For $225,000.
Wow.
And they told me And I went to the hospital. I said, what happened? I said, why do I know you? Well, you don't know that you had heart surgery? I looked at him, I go, wouldn't I know if I had it?
Yeah.
You know? So I lifted my shirt, took my shirt off, T-shirt. She's going to have me arrested and all that. And I said, go for it. And I said, do you see a scar anywhere?
Yeah.
And I walked out and I said, by the way, if I get another bill, I'm going to sue you.
Yeah. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Luckily, I have good insurance.
Right. I had a gallbladder removal. And I got to say, the Elliott daycare was fantastic.
Yes, that's where I had the sleeve surgery. But with my heart, and you can't even see it anymore, it was right in here. They went up through here into my heart. You know, they don't even do the groin anymore.
Really, that's what they did with me, through the groin.
Yes, they say that's easier for the surgeon, but it's more difficult for the patient. You know, it's an extra day of recovery. So they went right up through here, and it was incredible.
Well, after I had my goal, I walked in there and people thought I was crazy. Of course they do anyway, you know. Yeah. I'm going to feel better when I leave. Zippity-doo-dah. They're all, even the nerds are all looking. Well, you're in good spirit. Well, you know what? I had Reiki energy done before I went.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, you know what that is,
yes,
right?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I have friends that do it. Yeah.
And I went in there and I was in there in less than a half hour.
Wow.
I came home, I went over to the restaurant, and I had a pizza. Then I went, and then before that, I went and had my eyes done and cataract removed.
Yeah, I want to have my eyes done someday.
Yeah, they're great. And I walked there again, zippity-doo-dah, you know, happy. Because you know what? If you go in there with a positive attitude, you're going to heal quicker.
Yes.
And there was this one girl, she had 3 donuts, and I caught the coffee sitting there and go, wow, what are you here for? Oh, I'm a sugar problem.
Oh, boy.
And I'm looking at her. You know, but when I went for the Reiki energy, it was fantastic. My friend Bob Tell was here. He was doing Reiki energy with me.
Yeah.
And the nurse came in, and now I went, they have one of those LMAs that could take the blood out. I don't know, you know. I'll walk out of here first. So they came in, and the nurse came in to take blood. She said, you don't trust them. I said, no. She said, no, I'm not going to be her first patient. And she said, well, I'll take care of that. I said, fine. She hurt the hell out of my arm. I said, but you know what? I got what I wanted.
Yeah.
It takes about 45 minutes to have your surgery done. I was less than a half hour.
Wow.
And when I first looked out, they had these beautiful girls there. I said, oh, my goodness, what a nice-looking bunch of ladies. Yeah. One lady says, but you're cute. I go, I can still tell you're cute.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And then I looked at my friend Bob. I said, you're ugly. I believe that if you're going to sit on the pity pot and feel sorry for yourself when you have sickness, then go for it. That's your choice.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I remember after my sleeve surgery, my stent surgery. I mean, you know, I almost had no side effects, or really, I didn't have any. You know, I was a little tired and stuff, but you know, I felt like $1 million. You know, because my heart was working again properly. But after my stent surgery, there was a couple months. I was every day. I'd look up and I'd say, God, today's going to be better, right? And you know, and for about a month it wasn't. And then finally it started. Every day, you know, I'd ask, and and I kept a positive attitude. And
when I had the doctor told me I had to go to the hospital, I had a related stress done.
Oh yeah.
And so they got mad because I asked their qualification.
Oh, well, you should.
Yeah. And she says, well, I was trained by the military in the Army. I said, awesome. And
yeah.
the other woman went, so he's going to ask you what your qualifications are.
Well,
I said, it's my heart.
Yeah.
It's my body.
Yeah.
And they said, well, you're going to feel this, and this. I didn't feel any. All I had to do was go urinate, and they went, like that. Well, you must feel some pressure. A, B, C, or D. I go, no, I don't.
Yeah.
You sure? I go, I'm not retarded.
Yeah.
Maybe you are.
Yeah.
And I was done there. It's supposed to be a 2-hour testing. Reiki energy is phenomenal. Oh. I was there for like an hour to an hour and a half.
Yeah, I got friends that do that. And, they say it's pretty good.
So what is your platform on your running? You know you're going to run.
Well, I haven't decided what I'm going to do yet. You know, I know.
The respect that you have. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching my show or when we go download onto YouTube, the respect that this man has earned is phenomenal.
Well, thank you for the kind words. I just what I try to do is get along with everybody.
Well, you earn that respect.
Even though a lot of people say they would never vote with me, or
fine.
some say they will vote with me, but I just try to
that's
get along.
Like Mary and I, we have different opinions,
Yep.
but we also
Right.
have. So what are you doing for St. Patty's Day?
I don't think we're doing anything. No,
No corned beef hash?
no,
I mean, no corned beef?
no.
I hope Matt's up here because Matt
Because when is
doesn't
that coming up? Is it coming up? Yeah.
That Sunday.
Oh, it is Sunday. Yeah. No, I was going to work on the chicken coop a little if it's dry out there.
Well,
I
they
love
want
it.
you to.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
I got a 2-foot school bell I'm putting up there.
A what?
A 2-foot school bell I found in Virginia. Yeah,
Wow.
I found it at an antique consignment store, like Antiques on Elm.
Well, they're going
and
to teach you
something
how
like
to ring the bell when it's mealtime?
Oh, I'm going to lock the rope into a box, and then that way I can open it up when the kids come, because I don't want the kids out there ding 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 ding, and making my neighbors mad at me, because I do get along good with all my neighbors.
He has an ultra modern chicken, more modern than most people's houses are.
Yeah. Well, I was telling Mary that
Yeah.
it has automatic lights, automatic doors. It's a really cool.
I think that's
If
cool.
you YouTube, you can see my automatic
Yeah.
door. I think it's just type in automatic chicken door John Burt,
Yeah.
and it should be a picture of my chicken.
They're very
coop.
spoiled.
They are. Well,
You know what
back
you should
then.
do? Get the camera from here and go up there and tape it.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, we could.
yeah. Then you
You
could
don't
show
take
it.
a drive up there.
Yeah.
Take a, chicken
This is what our
That'd be
state
cool.
rep does for a
Well,
hobby.
you know what was really funny is last year, I can't remember. Oh, it was the bill that we got in and passed the House but died in the Senate, so the bill's gone. It was to repeal and to stop, as I call them, checkpoint Charlies. It was the DWI checkpoints.
Right.
Even the police said it's a waste of money.
Yeah.
It's all overtime. We don't catch anybody. And where they catch them is on the road patrolling. But the police said they do it because it's overtime money. And I'm like, well, that's wrong. Well, we got it passed out of my committee. I fought to get it passed. We passed it out. We passed it on the House floor. Well, NBC out of Boston came up and they called and said, can we come up to interview you on this bill? And I said, yes. So I got dressed up into my super rep dude suit and all that, and I was ready to go. So I came out on the porch when they showed up. They had the satellite truck there, and they said, well, where do you want to be interviewed? I said, well, we can interview here in my house, out by the chickens. And then they got talking, and they said, laughing about the chickens. And then the lady looks at me, and she goes, Representative, do you seriously have chickens? I looked at her, and I said, doesn't every Massachusetts representative have chickens? And she goes, no. And I said, welcome to New Hampshire.
I love it.
Oh, it was so funny seeing the look on her face. Oh,
I can remember coming through a checkpoint, and I'm talking 40 years ago.
Wow.
Okay. On 106 and going towards
Yeah.
it. I know to this day I ran over a cop's foot, and I kept on driving. That's how intoxicated I was.
and you got through?
And I got through. Well, back in 40 years ago, they didn't have the equipment that they had today.
Yes, yeah.
And I know that I fell out of the car when I got to where I was going. So you know that someone up above is watching over you.
Yes, yeah,
In New London, I've been a DWI rep.
yeah. Yeah,
My
no,
father was a judge.
I hope people don't drive DWI.
That's what I'm saying. Well, just because the miracle of the angels
Yes.
protected me, I would never, ever recommend anybody DWI.
Yeah,
or
no.
even if they're smoking pot.
That's right.
You know, a
Call,
drug is a
call
drug
the
is a
pizza
drug.
place and have it delivered.
Right. You know. And they also have the Hitchcock Clinic will not allow you to get medical marijuana.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah. The doctor that Scott and I go to, or that I did go to, no.
Oh.
You know. And the last time I went to a doctor, they refused to go again. And it's because the lady put that thing on your finger. It was like a clothespin.
Yeah, I can't, what
And
is that?
should-
I can't remember what that
It
does.
tells
hot
the,
blood and-
yeah,
yeah,
it tells
rate
you
low.
your
Right.
Your oxygen or
your
something?
oxygen.
Oh, is that what it does? Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I
And
thought.
she didn't even put it on right. It was half hanging. I said, you haven't got this on right. And she totally ignored me.
Huh?
That doesn't do well with me.
Yeah, yeah.
And then the doctor said, you got to go to CNC and get your heart rate. We're only getting 30 beats a minute. I said,
Yeah.
okay. So he made the arrangement. It was a month later that I got into the hospital.
Huh?
And then he says, I thought you said you don't smoke. I said, I don't smoke. Well, I smell it here. I said, you're not. My daughter-in-law smokes. And I refused to go back. And I looked at her. I said, you know what the best thing you could do for the people? Have a personality. Treat people with kindness.
Yeah, a few doctors like that.
Right. And then MA, the medical, I said, if you can't do that, then just because you have a problem at home, then you don't need to be here.
Yeah. No, I'm lucky. I got a great doctor. She's very caring, understanding.
The one I had went to California. I did a reading on her in the clinic at the doctor's. And I told her, I said, you're going to have a child. Nope. She said, I go, yep. And she let me know, and they had a baby boy.
Wow.
They moved to Southern California. He got a job as a professor at UC, in one of the colleges out there. He got a job there.
Yeah.
It's cool when you hear the reflection back on people.
Yes. Yeah.
One thing I'm also going to tell you is your mother is so proud of you.
Yeah.
And
No,
she's
she always
also
said she
very,
was.
she's also very glad that you two made it. Because she would have been going through a lot of guilt.
Yeah. Well, what's funny is when I used to talk to my mother toward the end, she was getting up there in age, and she says she would tell her friends, "Oh yeah, John's the governor of New Hampshire." I said, "Mom, I'm only a state representative." And then the next time I'd be, a congressman down in D.C. or a senator.
She was always protecting your future, right?
Yeah. So it's funny. It's like, no, Mom, there's 400 of us. Everybody's in New Hampshire's been a state representative.
I think my watch stopped.
Uh-oh.
Actually, it never said it.
Yeah.
What time is it?
5:51.
5:51.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Time flies.
Yeah. By the way, folks, this is John Burt from Goffstown, Republican state rep, is fighting for all of us to have the right to own a gun.
Yes.
So that they cannot take, the Democrat cannot take their rights away from us.
That's what I'm trying. Oh, I did have somebody in Rhode Island write to me and say that they're going to unseat me, that I'm a bad person. So I wrote back to them and I said, well, good luck. Have fun.
Really?
I said I overwhelmingly win. Knock on wood. Nothing's guaranteed. But there people from all over.
You do. At a red, like you rep, you do what's in your heart.
That's right.
You don't do what the other guy next to you sitting here. Oh, hey John, vote the way I'm voting. You don't vote that way.
No.
You vote the way you want and what's in your heart.
Yeah, I feel the people put representatives up there to vote their conscience. They have to sleep at night, and
and that's the sad part. People follow the parties.
Sadly,
especially in like when Sheehan and I think that what's her name, Cluster F.
Yes. Yeah.
She is the poorest state
Congress
representative for the northern country.
Yeah. No,
she doesn't fight for. I will say that she does fight for what things that even though I may not agree with her.
Yeah.
I don't agree with.
There's Shaheen. The senator.
I don't have to agree, but they're fighting for what they believe in. Yeah. And for Custer to stay with all those women standing there in white and applauding and yet applauding to have babies killed. I'm sorry, that's wrong.
No.
Yeah.
I don't.
But then they condemn. We support the Women's Defense League, and they condemn us for wearing this. But they're all wearing red shirts that say take guns away, or they're wearing the white clothes.
Yeah, what is that white?
I don't know what the white is for. It's in some protest. Well, we had one representative that I guess she was from France, but she's from here, but she was in support of the France people. I guess they were wearing the orange vest in protest.
Right.
And she's running on the House floor wearing the orange vest, and I'm like, wow, we got a crossing guard. Because I didn't know what she was doing at first, and then somebody behind me, a good friend of mine, Rep. Warner, he says, John, it's, and he said the name, and it's, when I Googled it, I'm like, wow, I must live in a box.
Me too, because I didn't even know that.
Yeah, and there's some protest they're doing, and I'm so.
I don't particularly like Chris Pappas.
I don't either. No.
Okay, and I will respect his right to vote, but if he would use his own mind and not be led or influenced by the other people.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Like he's a puppet in my eyes. He's a puppet for
for
Nancy Pelosi.
And I don't like the fact that I don't care who he is sexually. That's none of my business.
Yep, not mine either.
Thank
Yep.
you. We got fine.
Yeah.
I don't care if he's, if he wants to go out with a kangaroo. That's
Yep.
his choice.
Yep.
But to bring out that he's gay or whatever, I don't know if he is or not, and I don't care.
Yeah. Yeah.
See, that's one of the reasons why I hesitate in running. I consider that local psychic predicts his own future when he runs for Senate. You know that.
Yes.
You're not going to do that, right? And then I'll have to predict who you and I are, But when when Glenn was running for mayor the first time, I can't prove who did it, but they slammed him very badly.
Yeah.
How, and I don't care who you're sexually. As long as you're not a child molester,
That's
I
right.
don't care.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's true.
And Glenn had some good ideas.
He does.
Glenn, he's smart.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
Yeah, he works hard, and I think he had some good ideas. And if I was in Manchester, I'd vote for him.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, me too.
Yeah, he gets a lot of votes.
Oh, yeah. The thing I like about him is with that stupid outhouse, as I'm going to call them. What are they, the powder toilets or toilets?
Oh, is that down on Elm?
Yeah,
that they're
it's all
putting.
boxed
Yeah.
in there.
Yeah.
What happens is there's an older lady in there, and she doesn't know that you should lock the door or whatever. What happens is one of them gets attacked?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you never know. That's true.
And they have another when Joe Kelly. I actually think Joe Kelly was wrong in actually violating that. If people are in that bathroom, he's actually violating their rights to have privacy.
But good thing he did, because somebody was out like a light.
Yeah. But
They called the paramedic.
Yeah.
Good thing he did.
And then there was poop on the floor. But I technically don't think he should have he should be, if you're sitting on a stool and you're going to the bathroom.
Yeah.
And he opens the door. I'm sorry, that's wrong.
You want to lock the door.
You can open them doors.
There's a lock. It slides
we have
right
one in
across.
in the park. You know where I live, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. They had one of those over there.
Oh.
Okay. Kids would think it was cute and knock it over.
Yeah.
Oh,
There was
really?
this one guy. There was this one guy who was in there, and I knew he was. Shame on me, but I couldn't resist it. He was sitting in there, and I know he was high enough, so I started shaking it. And I never seen somebody run out of there so fast. And I know what he was doing. He was doing the drug in there. I wasn't going to have somebody playing it.
Yeah.
And I will say, I have an awesome alderman, Bill Berry.
Yeah.
Okay. And he and I fought together to get the park cleaned up and all that. Now they're going to take the trailer away. Or no, it used to be the police station. Now they're pulling that all away.
Oh, they are.
Yeah. Well, John, I want to thank you for filling in for me. It was great.
Yeah. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, and we're going to get you on and let me know when you're free again so we can get you right in.
Yes.
Because I enjoy having you come on.
Yes.
The one thing about it is, if you agreed with the Democrats, you would say so.
Yes.
Okay.
And there are a few things I do agree with.
Right, okay, because you're bipartisan.
Yes.
Even though we both run on a...
Yeah. I'm very conservative to the right, but there are times when I say, I can live with this.
Yeah. Anytime you got a free moment and you want to pop in and say hi and come in and sit down, you're more than welcome.
Yeah. All right, I will. And Mary, it's always a pleasure
You too.
visiting with you.
You've been on her show too?
Pop in anytime.
Oh, I'll do that sometime.
All right.
Yeah.
See, we like to be honest with politicians.
Yes. Yeah.
I always find that interesting with the Democrats. I invite them on. I can't say that because Tim Bays has been on,
Oh,
and
yeah.
I have a lot of respect for him.
Yeah.
But I've invited Heidi Hammer and some of these other ones on. And
Yeah, you
no
should.
response.
Yeah.
If they don't want to come on, that's their loss.
Yeah, it's sad when people don't want to come on and talk to
I'm
the...
afraid I'm going to destroy them. Well, I probably will. But anyway, thank you for coming on, John.
Yes.
And everybody out there, be kind to each other, love each other, fight and vote for the right person you feel is in your heart.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Be kind to one another.
Yeah. And stay tuned next week. Tomorrow, we're cruising with Mary.
Yep.
Who do you have for a guest?
I have a lady out of Ireland. We're going to be singing tomorrow.
Ooh,
Wow.
Right straight from Ireland. Katie
Okay.
Mahoney,
Yeah.
one of my friends from Ireland.
And everybody out there, remember, every day, you're the winner.